Hello and welcome to the Signature Six Figure System training. First of all, I just want to say how grateful I am that you are here and you are carving out the time to listen to the value that I have to share with you today. So, if you've clicked to watch this training, then get ready because I'm about to blow you away with the amount of value that I have jammed packed inside of this training for you today. And there is going to be no gatekeeping in this training either. In fact, I'm actually going to unpack the exact business strategy that I teach my students inside my Aligned Coaching Academy, which, if you haven't heard of it before, is my elite business mastermind. So you might be wondering, well, why am I sharing my six-figure framework with you in this training for free? And there are a couple reasons as to why I'm doing this. So I'm going to share those with you. See, I see too many business owners use their finances as an excuse to really not get the resources that they need in order to succeed. And first of all, this should never be an excuse because we are living in a time where we literally have access to all the answers we need at our fingertips. And if you have access to the internet, which you do because you're watching this training, then you have access to all the resources that you need to succeed in your business as well. But I get it. It is time consuming and it can be very overwhelming, really trying to figure it all out on your own and siphon your way through all the information that you can find online. Well, this is the first reason why I've put together this training, and that's really to eliminate the overwhelm and get you on your way to making your first six figures. Now, the second reason that I've created this training, well, I truly believe in leading with value, and that is actually how I have built my business from the ground up by delivering a high level of value first. And this started with my podcast, the Empower with M podcast, and then gradually evolved into monthly masterclasses, which I would deliver to my community for free. So, in saying so, if you do want to grab access to, first of all, my podcast, which is where the whole journey started from me, and you can really listen to a lot about my story, you can find the Empower with Them podcast on your preferred streaming platform. But second of all, if you really are here just seeking all the free resources that you can possibly get, then you're definitely going to want to make sure that you grab access to my YouTube library because there is 15 hours of these sorts of masterclasses all banked up on there for you, and it's completely free to access. So if you do want to grab that, then follow the link that was in the email that you received this training through. Otherwise, if you didn't receive an email, head to the description of this training and you should be able to find the link there. Now, there is one more reason why I'm sharing my six-figure framework with you, and it's simple. I'm all about transparency. So, to be completely honest with you, I am going to pitch to you at the end of this training. And why is that? Because I know that if you're watching this training today, then that means you are not yet where you want to be in your business. And I know for certain that I have the solution to get you there. So, quite frankly, I think it would be selfish of me if I didn't pitch you at the end of this training. Now, of course, the mentorship I am going to pitch to you later. It's not going to be for everyone. I know this. So don't worry if you aren't ready for mentorship. You can just soak up the value in this training and then you can go check out my YouTube library afterwards. But I know that some of you who are watching this today are craving more. You know you're not living up to your potential in life and in business, and that is why you are here because you are ready to change that. So if that is you, then make sure you watch this training right to the end so you don't miss out on the grant proposal that I have for you that I guarantee will transform your business as you know it. So, before we dive into the training, I want to first of all introduce myself to those of you who don't know me and really tell you exactly why you should listen to me and what I have to share with you in this training. So, what we're going to spend the first portion of this masterclass doing is actually sitting tight, nice and comfortably, and I'm going to share with you guys my journey to becoming the six-figure business owner that I am today. And then once we do that, I promise you, we're going to dive into the juicy business strategy that I have packed into the second half of this training. So you're not going to want to skip ahead either, because one thing I really do believe is that it is important to not just grasp the strategies required in order to grow, but to actually allow yourself to receive the wisdom from other people's journeys. And something that I find such value in is actually sitting back and listening to the stories of people who have walked before me and how they got there. And I find a lot of inspiration in that. So hopefully you'll be able to find some inspiration in my story also. So in saying so, let's dive in. So my name is Emily Jane Saroff. If you have not heard of me before, Empower with Em on social media. Make sure that you go say hi to me on Instagram at Empower with Em. And the reason, again, that I share my story with you is in hopes that it's going to inspire you like it has to many people who have come before you. See, growing up, I felt confined by the well-intentioned expectations of a path that was laid out for me by my parents. I was that kid in school that was the overachiever. So my entire primary and secondary schooling career, my head was down and I was focused on this path. And that one path was this vision that my parents had laid out for me around education, getting a stable job, and then building a secure life. So naturally, I followed suit. Straight after high school, I dove immediately into university, earning my bachelor's in architectural design and securing a job in the industry by the young age of just 20. But despite the fact that I was well on my way along this path that was laid out for me, I felt hollow and like I was lacking true fulfillment and joy. It was a path dictated by duty and not passion, and my soul was craving passion. So my story, it took a radical turn during my time in network marketing. And it was my second foray into an online side hustle, the network marketing space was, following a previous attempt with a t-shirt label during my university years. Now, I had been introduced to the world of network marketing by a friend, and this was really where my eyes were open to the potential of the online space. I would see other girls my age living life on their own terms, prioritizing lifestyle and fulfillment. All the while, I was slaving away to a degree that was eating me from the inside out. See, I have this one clear memory that I don't think I'll ever forget. And it was from one of the days that I attended at a network marketing conference. This was the first training that I had been to with this company. This was my first experience in that environment. Me and all my business friends at the time, we attended together. And to my luck, the conference just so happened to land on the very week that I had final presentations due for one of my semesters at university. So my heart, it wanted me to be at the event, but my duty required me to be elsewhere. However, I found a way to make it work. I woke up on this day knowing that I had to be in Brisbane, which was 1 hour away from where I live on the Gold Coast, to do a presentation early in the afternoon. So I spent the first part of the day at the conference soaking up as much of the trainings as I could before racing up to Brisbane in my car to present my architecture project. I then immediately, after the presentation, raced back down to the Gold Coast and made my way back to the conference, where I sat by myself in the back row behind where all of my friends were sitting. I was exhausted, mentally, physically, and emotionally from my studies. And so I sat in the back row and I cried. I tried to be quiet so no one around me would suspect anything. But I was crying because I didn't want to go on like this anymore. I wanted to be like the others who were able to fully focus on their passions and not be split between these two different worlds. Something ignited within me that day. I was young, but I knew in my heart of hearts that I wasn't meant to feel stuck. So I dared to walk away, embarking on a voyage of self-discovery where passion became my compass. Now, earlier that year, I had felt a calling to share my personal development journey, which was what birthed the Empower with Em podcast, a venture that would ultimately redefine my purpose. It was never network marketing that I saw myself doing long term. It was always going to be something around my podcast, but I didn't know what I was going to do But I also knew I could not step into another semester of my studies knowing how deeply out of alignment I was feeling. I only had 6 months left to go on my master's, but I felt conflicted because I knew spending 6 months towards a degree I had no intentions of using felt like such a waste of my precious time and energy. I knew that 6 months of energy directed towards discovering what it is I truly desired could set me years ahead. But I had invested so much time, money, and energy into my degree across the 5 years prior that I felt like quitting would mean I am a failure, or that quitting would be a waste. It was after having a conversation with the first ever coach that I came across that I realized what I needed to do. Now, I hadn't invested in this coach. I merely had a conversation with him one time over coffee. I felt lost and confused about what I should do, and so he kindly offered to be a sounding board for me in that moment. And he asked me a question which completely changed everything for me. He said, "Who are you doing this degree for?" And this was how I knew I needed to leave. My answer was everyone but myself. My parents, my peers, my boss, my co-workers. But what about me? What about Emily? It was in that moment that I realized I was living my life based off what I thought others wanted for me. But what did I want for me? I may have not known the full answer, but one thing I knew for sure was that I wanted to be done with that path so that I could actually figure out what more there was awaiting for me, what it was that my intuition was calling me towards. So at just 22 years old, I made the audacious choice, dropping out of my master's, leaving behind my job in the architecture industry, and diving headfirst into entrepreneurship. I'll tell you what, it was daunting. I quite literally risked it all. My job, my academic pursuits, and my entire savings, which we're going to talk about in a moment. But deep inside, guys, a fire burned fiercely. I knew this leap was my calling. So I gave myself a mere 90 days to craft a plan and step into the realm of self-employment. So after dropping out of my master's, I set a date for myself. I declared that on the 22nd of December, 2020, I would be walking away from my job and stepping fully into self-employment. So right up until that date, I was pocketing every penny that I received from my job because I had set a savings goal of $10,000. And that was going to be my security blanket for when I went full time. And thankfully, well, I hit this goal just before I was about to step away from work. And this was where I found myself facing my next big decision. Remember when I said I risked it all and I mentioned my savings? Well, exactly 1 week before I was set to leave my 9 to 5, I came across a business coach on Instagram. We spoke over DM before booking a discovery call. And I soon discovered that this coach had everything I knew I lacked. I had the passion, the drive, fire. But truthfully, I had no idea what I was doing when it came to business. So I was sold the idea of having a mentor. I understood the value in it and how it would ultimately fast track my ability to reach my goals. But of course, it came at a price. And that price was $10,000. sure you can imagine the conflict I felt in that moment. The fear, the scarcity. $10,000. I had only just managed to save that amount after months of laboring in my 9 to 5. That $10,000, it had become a security blanket for me, a sense of safety as I took the leap. But what you also don't know is that I had never had any savings behind me my entire life. I had always struggled to hold money. In fact, during university, my account was so often in the negatives that I couldn't even afford my train ticket home most of the time. And one day I actually went to tap on to jump on the train and my card declined. But of course, I had to get home. I had to travel an hour back to the Gold Coast from Brisbane. So I just jumped on the train without paying for my ticket, and trust my luck, that very day, the train guard caught me for freeloading. The shame I felt. This was the same shame I felt every time I would need to borrow money from a friend for lunch or simply to get a coffee. But for the first time in my life, I had savings. And now someone was asking me to give it all to them, right on the cusp of me becoming unemployed. So this is the decision that I had to face. To hold on to my savings and keep the security blanket that I had created around leaving my job, or invest the full $10,000 into a mentor who was going to give me the solution I needed to grow my business to where I wanted it to be. So on the 12th of December, 2020, I made the decision to invest it all. I hired the mentor, and with unwavering determination, on the 22nd of December, 2020, at just 22 years old, I bid farewell to my architecture career. I quite literally went all in. And guess what happened next? In just 8 months from going all in, I transcended boundaries, propelling my business to soar beyond 6 figures. And I emerged as a new beacon within the coaching world, carving my path in the intricate worlds of business and mindset. See, my mission pulsates with an unyielding desire to really unveil the boundless potential within every single entrepreneur. And I stand firm, affirming that the only barriers between your current reality and your aspirations are your mindset and your skill set, both of which can be honed and refined. So if you're yearning to break free from a life that is devoid of purpose and alignment, and you're ready to forge a business brimming with love and passion, then I stand prepared to guide the way for you. You see, across my time working as a business coach, I have helped countless clients leave their 9 to 5 jobs and make multiple 4 to 5 figures per month in their businesses. So to be able, or to be as blunt as I can be with you, you should listen to me and what I'm going to share with you next in this training, because quite frankly, I know my shit. So that's enough about me, because what I want to do now is dive into the juicy part, the real reason that you guys are sitting here today. Inside this training, we're going to break down my complete 6-figure system that has allowed myself and my clients to build successful online coaching businesses. And what I'm going to lay out for you in this training is the exact framework that I teach inside my signature coaching program, the Aligned Coaching Academy. Now, there are 5 parts to this system, and we are going to break down each part in this training today. And I am going to take this a step further as well and break down really specific aspects of this system to remove some of the guesswork where, you need to go and integrate these things into your business. So it's really going to become a bit of a plug and play. The first two areas we are going to touch on in this training, they are going to be focused more specifically on energetics. And the last three areas of this framework I teach is really specifically focused on business strategy, okay? So we're going to do 2 parts of energetics, and then we're going to do 3 parts of specific business strategy that you're going to plug and play into your businesses, okay? So in saying so, what I am going to do with you now is open up a screen share and actually start to walk you through these very specific business systems in a visual way as well, because I know personally I like to have visuals to help me learn and absorb, which is why I am going to share these visuals with you today. So you should be able to see my screen now. What we're going to do is we're going to break down my 6-figure framework. Let's get started. And if you haven't already, make sure you've got your pens and papers out now, because you are going to want to take a lot of notes from this, because like I said, guys, I'm giving you the answers to building your business to 6 figures right here, right now. So the first element of the 6-figure ecosystem is mindset. And there's 4 core things that we're going to take a look at in this. We're going to look at shifting paradigms, ego versus soul success, emotional intelligence, and alignment. See, your paradigms, these are the beliefs that ultimately shape your perception of the world. Given that these beliefs have such a high level of influence over the way that you live your life, it is therefore important to develop consciousness around what they are and whether or not they are serving you. The fact of the matter is, you will not be able to make $100,000 in your business if you do not truly believe in your core that you can have it and you can hold it. And so this starts with shifting your paradigm so that you do align with the belief that you can have and hold that kind of money. The second aspect of mindset is ego versus soul success. Now, the topic of ego versus soul success, it is also important to unpack within your mindset to understand what it is that you desire on both levels. Now, neither one is inherently better than the other. More so how I see it is we want to ensure that we're creating a balance between what both desire. So egoic goals, these can be, a powerful driving force when really channeled correctly. And of course, the true fulfillment you will experience in your business will always come from that of your soul's desire. So the ego can really drive us, but the soul is really what fulfills us. And in my first year of business, I had no understanding of the importance of balancing the two. And this ultimately led me to burning out because I really just focused on what my ego wanted. My ego wanted to make $100,000 as quickly as possible and as young as possible. And so that ended up in me sacrificing everything that my soul desired, which was lifestyle, connection, health, well-being, all of these different things. I sacrificed them in pursuit of my egoic goal instead of creating a balance between the two. Emotional intelligence. This is another important area of mindset because it's really going to influence your life both in and outside of business. So your ability to understand and regulate your emotions, this is really massively going to influence the success that you're then able to achieve. And every new level in business will demand a new level of emotional intelligence to be unlocked. Because as your business expands, you must also expand in order to be able to hold more. And this is why we work on emotional intelligence actively across the journey. And then finally, we have alignment. When I teach my clients the importance of alignment in business, I use it as a tool to ensure that in the process of creating financial abundance through their businesses, they're not sacrificing their lifestyle, values, or even health. Burnout is too commonly experienced within the business space due to buying into the hustle culture, and I learned that the hard way. Having bought so deeply into the hustle culture myself, I have been there myself and experienced it firsthand, which is now why my philosophy around succeeding in business is built upon the concept of creating alignment. This is why my core program is called the Aligned Coaching Academy, right? Because my philosophy is all about building a business that is in alignment with not only what you want, but how you want to feel. So with that said, here are some questions for you to take away and really reflect on when it comes to this area of mindset. And I want you to take a screenshot of this slide, or if you want, you can pause, you can write down all these questions in your journal, but make sure you do come back to these. What within your current mindset is holding you back from going all in on your business? Why does this belief exist? How can you begin to reframe your beliefs to align with your desires? How can you begin to embody these new beliefs? And who do you need to become in order to attain your desires? And that completes the mindset pillar of the six-figure framework. Now, the next pillar, remember I said there were two pillars of energetics. The next energetic pillar we're going to look at is vision. Okay, vision. We're going to look at big picture thinking, goal setting, reverse engineering, and strategic planning in this. Big picture thinking. When creating your vision for your business, we want to think beyond just the short-term goals. You want to expand your mind to be able to craft a big picture vision for your life ultimately. And by thinking big picture, naturally we expand and are able to create more for ourselves, opposed to if we were to just think about the immediate next step in front of us. Big picture, this really means bigger than just your 1-year goal. I want you to think about the 5-year, 10-year, and if you dare to do so, even your lifespan. What do you want it all to look like? What do you want it all to feel like? The next element of vision is goal setting and strategic planning. Okay, setting clearly defined goals is necessary in business to ensure that you have clear direction of where you are heading. You should be setting goals for all different areas of life, including career, finances, impact, relationships, health, spirituality, personal development, lifestyle, material things, you name it, put it on the list. Now, the strategic planning component of your goal setting is how you determine the action steps required in order to bring your goal into fruition. And I want you to remember this and write it down, that a goal is really just a vision without a strategic plan behind it. Okay? So this is where we start to turn energetics into action. Fun. Now, the next element of vision is reverse engineering. When it comes to your business specific goals, it is important to go through the process of reverse engineering them to ensure that you have broken down the stepping stones to reaching your big goals. Making your first 6 figures, it can feel really overwhelming, especially when you haven't yet broken the goal down into smaller steps. So what reverse engineering allows is you to take that big goal and break it down to find the specific actions that you need to take in order to compound towards it. So we will break down on the next slide how to actually reverse engineer your first 6-figure year together, because I want to simplify this process for you, like I said, and I'm going to break down a lot of components of this 6-figure system so that you don't actually need to figure it out yourself, but you can get that information right here today for being on this training. So let's reverse engineer your first 6 figures. So the target is obviously $100,000 in 12 months if you're wanting to do, 6 figures annually. Putting this simply, this equates into $8,333 per month coming through your business. Now, what you will note is that your progress isn't going to look like consistent $8,333 months. So we want to break this down to be a little bit more appropriate. So what that might look like, okay, if we've got that 6-figure target in 12 months, first of all, we're going to reverse engineer by breaking this $100,000 down into 4 quarters. So Q1, we might do 10,000, Q2, 20,000, Q3, 30,000, Q4, 40,000. That's like a really simple breakdown that equates to 100,000. Now we want to get even more specific. We want to take these quarterly goals and we want to break them down into monthly goals. So as you can see, I've split up the 4 quarters. And again, you can change these numbers around to look however you like, but this is just like a really general basic way to approach this. Q1, if our goal is $10,000, January, we want to hit 1,000, February, 4,000, March, 5,000. As you can see, all of these numbers right up until December really incrementally grow. Okay, so this is linear growth. Now, this is a general breakdown of what the linear growth might look like within your income if you are building towards your first 6 figures. But what you need to remember is that your growth might not necessarily look this linear. However, we really create these breakdowns so we just have the awareness and the understanding of what we're actually logically needing to be working towards in order to actually reach our goals. Another reason why we want to reverse engineer our goals in this way is because it allows us to actually break down our KPIs. And so what this means is if we know in January we need to do $1,000 in sales, we can then ask the questions of how many clients do we need to sign in order to hit this goal? And what does the pricing and structure of our offer need to look like in order to create this cash sustainably? Okay, so reverse engineering really provides us a lot of clarity on the way that we actually are going to go about reaching our goals. Now, with that said, that brings us to the end of pillar 2. I'm going to have a quick sip of my water. And then we are going to take a look into pillar 3, which is social strategy. So as I said before, pillar 1 and pillar 2 were very energetics focused. Now these final 3 pillars that we are about to touch on are very much business systems oriented. So let's jump back for 1 second. In social strategy, we're going to touch on brand design, profile optimization, attraction marketing, and lead gen and optimization. Now we can jump forward. Brand design. This is an area that I absolutely love working on, but I speak to too many new business owners on a weekly basis, to be honest, that when I ask them if they have ever done a brand strategy before, they say no. See, your brand strategy, it's the process that you really go through to actually build out your personal brand for your business. And the strength of your branding is then going to have a massive impact on the success of all other parts of your business strategy, including your ability to attract your ideal clients and also convert them into clients. Now, branding and marketing go hand in hand with each other because having a personal brand is necessary as it determines how you want your audience to perceive you. Whereas marketing is how you really go about building your brand awareness. So the personal brand is the perception that you want your audience to have of you, and the marketing is how you ultimately build that perception through your audience. Furthermore, your personal brand will convey your message and mission to your audience, which will allow the right audiences to actually align with your community as well. See, without establishing your personal brand, there will be a level of clarity and connection missing from your marketing, which will impact your ability to generate and convert leads to your highest potential. So that's brand design and why that is so important. Now, the next thing we're going to look at is profile optimization. Again, this is a really clearly broken down example for you, which you can go and plug and play into your profile as well. But when it comes to profile optimization, the biggest thing we want to focus on is creating clarity. Write that down in big bold writing. Profile optimization, goal equals clarity. See, when someone comes across your page, it can take less than 10 seconds for someone to actually decide that they are, not going to follow you. And this comes down to the fact in whether or not they see value in you. That quickly. They decide yes or no. I like you, I don't like you. I'm aligned with you, I'm not aligned with you. So when your profile lacks clarity, you're then at risk of actually losing aligned leads simply because of the fact that it wasn't clear to them that you actually have something of value for them. So a couple things we want to look at in this screenshot over here. This is a screenshot of my own social platform over on Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram already, please jump over, send me a DM, say hi, let me know that you're watching this training. I would love to hear if you're watching this training. And that's how you found my Instagram. But first of all, in the name of my Instagram here, you can see that it's really clear. It's really, really clear, and it's also really easy, right? Empower with them. There's not lots of dots, lots of dashes, not lots of really long words that, you can't really understand or read. It's related to my brand. It's not something totally irrelevant. And that's what you want to make sure you do when you are picking your name for your platform. Okay, you want it to be really clear and really easily searchable as well. There's nothing worse than having a name with all these dots and all these dashes. Then you get onto, like, let's say you host a training like this and you say, go follow me. I'm at empower_with_m_dot. It just doesn't flow. It's hard to search up. Keep it simple, keep it sweet, keep it on brand, keep it aligned. The second thing we want to look at is over here, my profile image. As you can see, clear use of brand colors. You can also see my face very clearly. And what can you tell about my face? I have a big smile in the photo. One simple mistake that so many people make when selecting their profile photos for their platform is they sit too far back, show too much of their body, and you can't clearly see their face. Or they show their face, but they're not smiling. How much more unapproachable do I look without a smile? Show the emotion, show your energy, right? Psychologically, people resonate more with someone who's smiling than someone who's not smiling. Okay, so key little factors there for your profile image. Next, we have my name. My name is clearly spelled out so people know who I am. And then we have keywords for SEO purposes, search engine optimization benefits. So we got 6-figure, business, and mindset coach. Really, really clear there. These keywords just make me more searchable. I have coach as my tag, and then I have a really clear mission statement. So I will help you make your first 100K on the foundations of alignment, lifestyle, and freedom. Really, we want to speak directly to the individual by saying, I help you. And we want to then clearly say, what are you going to help them with? And what is the desire that's attached to that, or how are you going to do it? So for me, I said, who, I help you. What do I help you with? Make your first 100K on the foundations of alignment, lifestyle, and freedom. Alignment, lifestyle, and freedom. That's the desire, right? That's what you want, is to make $100,000 from that place of alignment. Then I have a really clear call to action: access 15 hours of free business strategy trainings here, and then have the link there. Okay, so that is a clearly optimized profile. Take that as inspiration and go integrate it into your own. Now, the next thing, attraction marketing. I want you to think of your social media as your storefront. So we really want to make people who are ultimately walking past your store, scrolling past your store, have a reason to come inside. Now, there are 2 types of marketing that we want to focus on. The first is indirect marketing, and this should consist of about 80% of the marketing that you do. The purpose of this is to really build awareness, build engagement, build community, and build reputation. So ultimately, this 80% of your marketing prepares your customers for the direct marketing CTAs, which come in the 20%. So the direct marketing is 20%. And the purpose of this is to make sales, okay? So social media's goal is to ultimately stand out through indirect brand marketing so that you can lead a prospect up the engagement ladder to make a sale through your direct marketing. So that 80% really does influence the success of the 20%. Now, your marketing should ultimately be working to do 3 core things: increase your visibility by creating touch points, generate leads through attraction marketing, and convert leads by moving them up the prospect awareness scale. Okay, so this marketing component is so important, especially when we begin to transition into the sales component of the strategy shortly. Now, I want to cover a few specific activities I do when it comes to my marketing. I really break my marketing strategy down based off the different content types that are available on Instagram. So story posts, these are for selling, right? Because that's where your hottest leads are sitting, your newest leads as well. Your feed posts, this is for nurturing existing audiences. So really delivering value there. Reel posts, this is for reaching new audiences. So heavy attraction marketing there. Emails is for nurturing existing audiences, and same with Facebook posts. And we do also throw some direct marketing into the emails and the Facebook posts as well, really that 80-20 split. Now, my minimum daily deliverables when it comes to marketing is these 3 things, and make sure that you do these every single day. 1 is post a feed post to gain reach or nurture your audience. So 1 post per day. The second thing is putting 1 brand awareness story set up, right? To build that brand awareness and that audience connection, and do the heavy lifting for when we get to number 3, which is 1 sales story set, okay? So feed post, brand awareness story post, and sales story post. Wow. Those 3 things, do them daily, and you are hitting a nail with your marketing. So before we move forward, I want to shine a little spotlight onto the beautiful Nikki Morton, now Nikki Contreras, as she just recently got married. So this social strategy that we just walked through, I had Nikki integrate when she stepped inside of the Aligned Coaching Academy, and she literally, like within 30 days, was able to generate new inbound leads, 30 new inbound leads at that, from 1 post that blew up. Okay, many of her other posts really gained this traction as well, all because she implemented this strategy across a 30-day period. So she started to see over 18K new accounts being reached from her posts, over 250 shares, over 120 saves, over 30 new followers, all from 1 piece of content. And this was because of the attraction marketing strategy that we put in place. So within just 30 days of implementing these core areas of her marketing strategy, she was able to see massive drive in her reach and furthermore her sales as well. And I share this with you to show you that this works. So pay attention to what I'm telling you right now and make sure you're writing it all down. Nikki actually signed over $6,000 worth of clients within that first month of introducing this strategy into her business. And this was after struggling to sign any clients for almost 2 years. Pretty impressive. So the final thing that we're going to touch on when it comes to your social strategy is lead generation and optimization. Okay. There are a lot of new business owners that really limit themselves by only depending on attraction marketing for lead generation, right? And the logic behind going viral to generate leads, it makes sense, but virality, it's outside of your control. So if it is your only method of lead generation, then you may find that you're going to struggle with lead flow into your business. So what we want to do at any stage in business is make sure we have multiple streams of lead generation happening, so that if 1 stream is blocked, there is still a flow that is going on. And this is why I teach my students the importance of having inbound and outbound lead generation strategies in place. My entire business, it has been built organically, meaning $0 spent on lead generation through ads. So instead of paid ads, I consistently use the following 2 lead generation approaches. Inbound, okay, I focus on content marketing, lead magnets, and direct call to actions. And then outbound, I focus on cold outreach and engagements. Okay, so inbound and outbound lead generation is what we really want to be focusing on. Now, with this said, that is the last of the social strategy, and we are going to dive into the next part of the 6-figure ecosystem. If you are still here, if you are still watching, if you are still present, give yourself a pat on the back, get up, have a little stretch, a little wiggle around if you need to, go grab a glass of water, come back. I'm not going anywhere. You can hit pause and then you can hit play, have a toilet break if you need to, but we are almost through the framework, guys. The next element of the framework we're going to tap into is your irresistible offer. And with this, we're going to learn about your value ladder, ideal clients, creation and delivery, as well as pricing. Okay, value ladder. Your value ladder is how your offer stacks from lowest ticket to highest ticket. So simply put, low ticket is less than $500, mid ticket is over 500 but under 1,000, and high ticket is over 1,000. As your high ticket increases, obviously these price points and what brackets they fall into change as well. But as a brand new business owner, this is generally what that will look like. So mapping out your value ladder is an important step to take when creating projections for how you envision your business to grow. And where I see new business owners go wrong, though, is trying to execute everything on their value ladder all at once. So you really only need one core high ticket offer and one downsell to build to 6 figures. So when you try to sell too many things at once, especially as a new business owner, you can create confusion within your audience. And quite frankly, a confused mind never buys. So what we're going to look at next is then your ideal client, because you cannot create an irresistible offer if you first are not crystal clear on who your ideal client is. There are many areas of your ideal client profile that you want to get clear on. And these include questions that are on the screen for you to answer. Who is the demographic that you want to work with? So their age, location, gender. What is their current reality? What is the problem that they need solved? What do they desire? Your offer should ultimately deliver the solution to their problems and get them to their desired reality. So having this depth of clarity on who your ideal client is will also result in a higher conversion from your marketing efforts as well. So really important step there. And the next step is the creation and delivery of your offer. Depending on the type of offer that you want to deliver, there will be different methods of creation and delivery. Now, first, you need to determine what type of business model you do want to be working with. There are a couple of different types. You've got done for you. This is a full service delivery where you go in and you do the work for your client. Coaching and consulting, which is very much one-to-one delivery. Done with you is a group or hybrid delivery. So you're not necessarily doing it for them. You're doing it with them. And often in like a hybrid delivery is like there's one-to-one, there's group trainings, there's coursework, like it's hybrid, it's a mix of things. And then we've got products and courses. So there's no service delivery involved in that. That is self-placed by your clients. I will give you guys this little pointer, and that is that one thing you should avoid doing as a new business owner is focusing on courses and group programs as your first offer. And simply put, self-paced courses, they just don't offer the same ability to deliver high-level results for your clients, which will impact your ability to build credibility through results. So at the very beginning of your business, you want to be building credibility through results. And in order to do that, you want to make sure you're getting people into an environment that guarantees a higher chance of having those results delivered. And that's quite frankly not going to come from a self-paced course. 90% of people who purchase self-paced courses don't ever complete them. Additionally, diving into group programs before having a thorough understanding of your ideal client and how to actually deliver client transformations can again impact your ability to build credibility as a new coach. So when you are starting out, I really, really do recommend start out with one-to-one client work when you're brand new in the coaching space. So you have that room to actually experiment, see what you like to do as a coach or a consultant, see how you actually go about delivering client results. And then from there, you can use that actual experience you've gained to then transfer into creating high-level courses and hybrid programs and so on. So the next thing when it comes to creating your offer is pricing. And this is one of the biggest questions that I actually get asked is, what do I price my offer? Now, honestly, the answer is whatever you want. because you are the business owner. This is your business. This is your world. We're just all living in it. But there are some factors that we can take into consideration to actually help guide your pricing, okay? And these pricing factors are on the screen for you. And again, these are questions for you to answer. What is the return on investment your clients will see? What is the lifetime value of the transformation that you deliver? How quickly can you deliver these results? How does your services reduce the effort and sacrifice required of your clients? How does it make their life easier? How large or small is the time input you invest into your clients during the program? Are there additional resources included in the offer? And what is your knowledge and skill set, including considerations to any investments that you have made in your own personal and professional development also? So take your screenshot. I'll smile while you do it and then go and answer those questions. Now, some other considerations when it does come to your pricing. First of all, is your ideal client a financially qualified market for your offer? So what I mean by this is, are you trying to sell a high ticket offer to an audience that are demographically in a position that they cannot afford the offer? Okay. Go to where the disposable income is, and it will make your life in sales more simple. And will you be charging high or low ticket? Okay. Let's take a look, or momentarily before we do that, let's take a look at the difference between low ticket and high ticket. So when it comes to determining whether or not you'll be charging high or low ticket, you really want to determine which price point makes sense for where you're at in your business journey, right? So low ticket, it requires a greater audience. So it isn't the best choice for new business owners who don't have the audience and the community behind them, because it requires a quantity of sales to then reach the sales goal. Higher ticket, on the other hand, this provides more cash flow for new businesses with small audience, because you focus on quality, not quantity. So if your sales goal for the month is $10,000, but you're working with a $100 product, that's going to take you basically 10 times the amount of sales, probably more. I'm not good at quick maths off the top of my head, to be able to make $10,000 off $100. Versus if you're charging $1,000 a client, that's only 10 sales required to reach that sales target. So you can see the difference there. Quality, not quantity, especially when you're just trying to create a consistent income for yourself in the early stages of your business. Now let's take a look at where you can start with specifics on your first offer. So your first offer, let's look at doing one-to-one coaching or consulting. So if you're a coach, like one-to-one coaching, if you're like a marketing consultant, a VA, something like that, VA pricing will be quite different again. But you know, if you're a coach or a consultant, really what we're looking at is about $500 to $1,000 per month as the starting package. We are looking at a minimum 3-month term that you want to be working with someone on. In that, they receive weekly or bi-weekly calls, message support, and bonus access to paid masterclasses just to do some value stacking there. And this is as simple as your first offer should be. This will build you to your first $100,000. It doesn't need to be overcomplicated, guys. Now, if you've never worked with a client before, I do recommend getting a free client to give you the opportunity to actually test your offer and generate some warm leads in the process. So free coaching giveaway, it's optional. I do get all of my new students to do this who have never coached before. And generally what this giveaway looks like is 4 weeks of complimentary coaching with, again, the 60-minute sessions weekly and the message support. You will just put a post up on your socials about the giveaway, prompting people to really opt in. 5 to 7 days is generally the period of time you want to promote it for. And you'll get your audience to opt in via an application form, and you'll create that form on JotForms or Google Form. From here, you will select your winner based off who is most aligned with your ideal client from those form submissions. And then ultimately what you would aim to do at the end of the 4 weeks is, first of all, you will get a solid testimonial from your first client. Then we try to upsell them into our coaching package. And then anyone else that we've applied for this giveaway would become a lead that we are prospecting to sell to. Okay, so really great benefits for getting your first testimonial here, as well as getting some quick lead generation happening at the start of your business. Gonna put another little client spotlight out there. Hello, Brandon. Brandon is a fitness coach. And when he came to me, there were massive gaps within his offer. So he really had his value ladder was not set up properly. There's too many levels. He didn't have logical pricing. He was undercharging for the value he was delivering. There's no major point of differences in his offers. He didn't have minimum terms. It was a bit of a mess going on. We love you, Brandon, and we're glad that we refined all of that. Within his first session of joining the Aligned Coaching Academy, we were actually able to refine all of these gaps. Everything that we spoke about today in this offer section of the training, we were able to integrate for him within one session. We refined his product suite to really create 2 core offers. And then we set those minimum terms, adjusted the price points to better reflect his income goals and scalability goals. We created clearer structure around the time he's spending with clients, and also created clearer client journeys as well. So ultimately, we really streamlined his entire offer structure to really benefit his ability to build towards his first 6 figures. So that can happen for you as well. All you need to do is go through and integrate those pointers that I gave you in this offer part of the training. And this now brings us to the final pillar of the 6-figure ecosystem, your sales system. What we're about to dive into is client management, payment processing, high-ticket sales, and prospecting. Okay, I want you to take a deep breath and breathe out before we move forward. The sales portion of the 6-figure ecosystem, it seems like the most important pillar because that's where we see the money rolling in. But honestly, you can't have this sales piece without everything beforehand that we just went through, particularly that social strategy and the offer. They need to be solid before you move into the sales. Not to mention your mindset as well, right? So let's tap in and learn about the first element of the sales system, which is prospecting. Prospecting is the process of essentially looking for clients. So there are multiple steps involved in the process, starting with finding the leads and then, of course, qualifying them. Now, you can find leads through utilizing the inbound and outbound strategies that we spoke about earlier in this training. And to qualify leads, I teach my clients 2 core methods. So we have DM qualifying and we have sales call qualifying. So write those 2 things down, DMs and sales calls. What you will want to do is make sure that you have a clear DM flow in place, which initiates conversation, builds rapport, identifies the problem, and pitches the solution, being a sale or a sales call. You're also going to need to have clear KPIs around what volume of appointments you need to set per week in order to actually reach your monthly sales goal. So generally, starting out, KPIs are going to look somewhat like I have put on the screen for you. I am going to break these numbers down for you, and these are numbers that are based off the lowest targeted conversions that you want to be seeing. These are KPIs that I give my clients when starting out at that very first level as well. So the bare minimum that you want to be doing here is 20 new DMs per day. That is your DM outreach, because that equates to 100 per week or 400 per month. Now, with a 20% conversion rate, you are going to see that approximately about 80 convos end up being opened per month, okay? So 20% being the lowest possible conversion rate there. Now, from there, we're probably going to see again about 20% of those open conversations turning into pitches, and then about 50% of that is going to equate to 8 calls being booked per month, okay, from that 80 convos that were opened. Now, with a 20% conversion, we are then going to see a minimum of 2 sales per month happening. So when we have 8 sales calls booked into the schedule, 20% of that is 2 sales per month. So as you can see, if you're hitting this minimum number of 20 new DMs per day and all of your conversion rates are the lowest that they can be, then you're going to be making 2 sales per month. So if your offer requires you to be making 4 sales per month, we need to be either increasing the volume or we need to be refining your skill set to be able to increase these conversion rates. Okay, so main thing to pay attention to here is just that 20 new DMs per day. If you don't understand these numbers, don't worry. Okay, reach out to me. That's what I work with my clients specifically on, to help them have that actual understanding of the numbers. But right now, if you're just wanting to get the needle moving forward, focus on that 20 new DMs per day, trying to get 2 sales per month out of that. High ticket sales, as a new business owner, let me just tell you now, you are leaving money on the table if you are not doing sales calls. So many people say, I want to sell in the DMs. I don't want to sell in sales calls. I don't like sales calls. I'm scared to be on sales calls. Selling in the DMs is more challenging than selling on a sales call. When you haven't yet become efficient in your abilities to actually sell high ticket, you're at a higher risk of losing sales if only selling in the DMs. Now, you also cannot expect everyone to buy from you simply by putting DM me for the link in your stories. I see so many people do that. You're going wrong. Okay, high ticket sales require a high level of trust, which can be very quickly built on a call, as well as a deep understanding of sales psychology to efficiently move your leads to point of sale. In saying so, having a sales flow for the call that is proven to close high ticket clients is essential, which is why I simplify the process for my clients and provide them with the exact sales script that allows me to close $12,000 in paid in full clients, right, on these calls. Imagine if you were to jump on a call, pitch someone a program for $12,000 and they would say, yes, here, let me pay you in full today. That comes down to your high ticket sales skills. And I'll tell you what, closing that 12,000 paid in full client in the DMs would be a lot harder and you'd be more likely to lose them. The next thing we're going to look at with your sales system is payment processing. So in order to streamline the sales process, you want to set up some easy to use payment links for your programs. I recommend using platforms such as PayPal, Stripe, Thrivecart, or Squarespace when starting out, as these are free or low cost. And they're really, really easy to set up as well. So what you're going to do is you're just going to go, you're going to create links for paid in full and payment plan options. You're going to have them ready to go. You're going to jump on the call and you're going to get your prospects, your qualified leads to pay for your offers then and there to avoid the confusion when they step off the call. And finally, you need to have some client management systems in place. So there's several core systems included in this, such as your onboarding process, client detail tracking, progress tracking, offboarding process, and client retention strategies. You want to make sure you have processes in place for each of these to really enhance the experience that your clients have, to make sure that they see the highest results possible, and also to increase the likelihood of you actually retaining these clients further after their initial terms finish with you. In saying that, that's my 6-figure framework, guys. It was a lot. So give yourselves a pat on the back for sitting here, for watching it through. So why am I sharing my 6-figure framework with you for free? Well, strategy is one thing, but it's not the whole thing. And that's something that I really do want you to learn and understand. The reality is this training could be enough for some people to go on and make their first 6 figures on their own, but that isn't to say that there won't be a large sacrifice of time, effort, and energy still. Where I see most people go wrong isn't in their understanding of what to do, but in the actual implementation of it all. So what I want to share with you is 2 clients of mine who have integrated this 6-figure framework and seen a $20,000 return on their investment. And the reason why I want to share this with you is because I want to show you that this information that I have shared with you today, these systems, these frameworks, they work. They work when you do the work. Karen did the work. My client, Karen, she came to me after she had just completed her life coaching certification. She was at a point in her life where she was being called to step into something new, but had no idea how to make it happen. Her vision was massive, but she simply did not have the knowledge or skill set to bring it into her reality on her own. Karen was working as a shift work nurse, which meant she was slaving away her days and nights working. And anyone who knows what shift work is like knows it can take a massive toll on you, both mentally and physically. Karen was craving more freedom in her life. Freedom to wake up when she wanted to, enjoy slow mornings and early nights, soak up more quality time with her partner and friends. And she desired to be making an impact without having to feel like she was being run into the ground. Before Karen came to me, she lacked the strategy, she lacked the skill set, she lacked the path to follow to really create the impact she wanted to make. She had energetically aligned with a frequency of something more. She knew the potential of what she wanted to step into, but her capabilities at that time were not in alignment with being able to have and hold that. So since being in the Aligned Coaching Academy, Karen was able to go from $0 in her business to $20,000 in just 6 months. She made back her full investment and an abundance more. She reached her financial target that she set. So she's actually gone full-time in her business now, and she resigned from her full-time shift working position. She filled all 5 spaces in her high-ticket one-to-one program, created and launched a mid-ticket group program and filled those spaces as well, 48 hours into the launch. And she built her entire business foundations and strategy from the ground up because she integrated this 6-figure framework that I taught you today. Now, if Karen's story isn't enough, there's one more client story I want to share with you, and this is Nikki, who we briefly met earlier in this training. Nikki Contreras. She came to me for coaching when she was at her breaking point. She had been trying to build her coaching business for over 2 years and was failing to see any real growth. She had invested thousands of dollars into different coaching programs and again saw little to no return from them. When Nikki came to me, she was on the edge of quitting her coaching business. Don't know if you can resonate with that right now. She was already trying to work off debt, which for most would have been enough to say no to any other coaching investments. But this was really Nikki's final string. She knew if nothing changed for her business now, it would mean she would have to call it quits. So despite her fiance's fears and the debt that she still had, Nikki decided to invest in the Aligned Coaching Academy. And because of the academy, she also collected a $20,000 cash return on her investment, and she 4x'd her business growth. Within 30 days, she signed $8,000 worth of clients, made back her investment into the academy, paid off all her credit card debt, created massive demand around her one-to-one program, mastered her marketing and messaging, reaching over 18,000 accounts with singular posts, and afforded the ability for her to create time for vacations and more of what she loves. Nikki's actually on the brink of going full-time in her business as well because of the 6-figure framework, which I taught you guys today. So I'm going to take a moment and I'm going to quickly pause this screen share. Reconnect with you guys. See my face nice and big again. I share these results with you to show you what can become possible for your life and your business also. You can have the business, the freedom, the money, the lifestyle, everything it is that you desire. And I want to help you get started by building the solid foundations of your coaching business so that you can go on to achieve financial freedom without sacrificing your passion and lifestyle, which is such a high value for you. And so I have a program for this, and it's called the Aligned Coaching Academy. And this program is where you really embody what it takes to have and hold a six-figure coaching business. I have people come into my world because they want to build an online business that creates a sense of freedom they cannot create through their 9-to-5 jobs. And then once they enter the Aligned Coaching Academy, they tell me that it's the best thing they have ever done. They tell me they only wish they had invested in it sooner. So taking this program gives you more than just business strategy. It revives and expands the potential that is inside you to make a limitless impact and income for yourself. Having access to someone like myself who has been in your shoes and is standing at a point along the path that you desire to be at is a powerful tool to expedite your growth. And there are different conversations that we have in this program to actually change the way that you think about business, growth, money, impact, purpose, belief, so much more. And along with these conversations, you will be working directly with me on the implementation of your business strategy to actually start seeing growth within your business. Now, like I said, at the start of this training, this offer is not going to be for everyone. And I know that some of you who are watching this today, you are craving more. You know you're not living up to your potential in life and business, and that is why you are still here listening to this right now. Because you are ready to create change. So I'm going to bring my screen share up one final time for you guys. The Aligned Coaching Academy. If this is for you, what I want you to do is scan the QR code on the screen now and fill out the application form for the Aligned Coaching Academy. After the form is completed, you will be prompted to schedule a discovery call with me, and we'll personally sit down face-to-face on a Zoom together and discuss your enrollment. Now, make sure you act fast though, because spaces are limited inside this program to ensure an intimate environment is provided to enhance your experience and success. This is why my students go so far in this program, because of the proven framework that I teach and the depth of access and proximity they have directly working with me. So if this is for you, if this is calling your name, if you have loved my energy today, if you feel I resonate with you and the framework that I teach, the philosophy behind my approach to business, if it all feels in alignment for you, then please scan the QR code on the screen, fill out that form, book in a discovery call. Let's have a chat and let's see if we can start working together. Now, if you are not ready to join us in the academy, that is so fine. Like I said, this is not for everyone. Maybe for you, the academy isn't the step you take today, but instead we can get you to tap into the 15 hours of free trainings inside of my YouTube library, or you can go listen to the Empower Them podcast, both of which are linked into the description of this video and also attached to any emails that you have received in relation to this training. Now, with that said, my friends, thank you. Thank you so much for joining me in this training today. It was a long one, so thank you for sitting tight. I'm glad you made it to the end. I hope you found a lot of value in what it is that I shared with you in this session. I hope from here you go away, you go and take action on all of those notes that you've taken, the action steps we've put in place. Go watch this training again if you need to reabsorb everything. It is here for you to have, to hold, to use. I really, really, truly do hope that those of you who do feel called and aligned to explore working with me further, take the action, reach out. If not, come say hi over on Instagram at Empower With Them and let me know how you found this training, because I would love to receive that feedback from you. But with that said, that is all from me. I'm going to love you and leave you all the best with everything that you are doing. And just know that I am cheering you on in your pursuit to making your first $100,000.